All right, guys, we are live. I am Gina Elliott, and today I'm joined by Linda.
Yes, hello.
Linda, you were just telling me you thought this would be a good time when I asked you if you wanted to do this with me today.
Yeah, 11 o'clock is perfect. It's lunchtime. We don't have Danny here. I can go make lunch so that we at least have somebody cooking while on the podcast.
Big steak sizzling for you.
Poor Danny.
She couldn't be here today because she's actually working. Um, I think the dentistry stuff. She's working somewhere today, and then she's heading down to Knoxville for Artemis. So I asked Linda if she'd like to join me because I wanted to talk about this Artemis event before it happens tomorrow. And Linda, you said you're actually at home.
Yeah, I'm actually at home. I have to work from home every other day because we have a small crew of people working and we can't afford to have one person quarantine everybody. So we've
Uh huh.
started A shift, B shift. So that way, if one person on A shift gets sick, then A shift is quarantined and B shift can just work. So we're not completely down. So I live out in the country in the middle of a valley, in the middle of nowhere, and I have no internet. So of course I was like, I can't work from home. They're like, well, here's a mobile hotspot. Do the best you can. So I've got a mobile hotspot, and it's not too bad. And I just mostly just let them know that I'm alive at 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. And I went for a bike ride this morning before it rained.
You were training the other day, and I was like, oh my God, Linda, you got corona? Like, you don't look good. And you said you got hit in the eye.
Yeah, I was running and I had to run early before I went to work because it was a work day. So I was out on Tate's Creek Road. I live on a country road. There's no lights, there's no anything. And I was just running down the road and I just ran. There was just a tree branch across the road and I just ran straight into it, clotheslined myself. My eye was irritated all day and into the next day. It's not the first time that's happened. Actually, I was riding my bike today, and luckily I had my head down a little bit. So the helmet hit a tree branch somehow. So they need to come out and trim Tate's Creek Road.
Oh my goodness. You're wild.
I'm hazardous.
To say the least. I'll never forget the time we were training and you were training for a flight with Carmen,
Yeah.
and I was like, what is wrong, Linda? Did you get attacked by a dog on your run today? And you're like, no, I'm fine. I'm like, did you fall down a hill? Like, what's wrong with you? Hazardous.
That was a rough day for me.
Yeah, needless to say, neither of those things happened. You had been into a car accident on I-75, but
Yeah. Well, my thought train was I I've gotten a car accident. At first, they asked me if I need an ambulance. I was like, no, I'm okay. There's nothing wrong with me. And then, of course, you cool off for a second. You realize, oh, well, my knee is cut and my ankle hurts and I'm limping. And I gave the tow truck driver the wrong directions to my house. I didn't even know where I lived, apparently. And then I got home and I'm like, do you know what? This will be okay. I just need an ice bath. So I don't have the way my water had been. Chris fixed it since, thank God. But the way my water had been, I didn't actually have cold water in my bathtub. So I had to run a hose from outside into the bathtub, fill the bathtub with ice. So he comes home to pick me up to bring me to work because I didn't want to miss work that day. And I've got a hose running from outside the house into the bathroom. I got ice. He's like, what are you doing? I was like, I have to take an ice bath if I'm going to make it through class tonight.
ridiculous.
Survived.
Speaking of training, I think it was last week, we had quite a few ladies on the mat. I posted a picture. There were about 9 or 10 of us. We had Gina Gooden in training with us. We have Brittany Bays coming in to train with us. A lot of really good ladies on the mat. When we cross train, I feel like it kind of gives you, I don't know, that idea of what your weaknesses are, a little more so than like if you just kind of roll with the same people every day. Like, how do you feel about that?
Yes, I love cross training. It opens me up to rolling and training with other really talented athletes that are talented in different ways. I think you get used to what your training partner's strong points are. And so you get comfortable with your training partners. You're not as competitive. You've set your places, so to say, with your training partners. You're like, oh, well, she's a brown belt. I always have a rough time with her. It's no different. When you open up to cross training, it's not competition necessarily. You're not out to hurt the person. But you are training at another level. You're like, okay, you haven't trained with them, even if you haven't trained with them in a month or two. You're like, let me see if some of this stuff that I've been working on, let me see if I've improved on this. You have that aspect where you're like, let me see if I can get them this time. Let me see if I can improve this, if I've improved this time. Whereas with your everyday training partners, I feel like sometimes you get a little bit complacent. Like you understand where oh, well, just because I learned this doesn't mean I'm going to get them with it this time. They learned it too. So it's a little harder, but
I noticed that we had 2 boys in the gym. We've had 1 boy with us in the gym for about, oh, sorry, excuse me. No Rona. For about a year. He's 17. And one of his wrestling teammates joined our team, and he's not even got like a month of experience. And the kid who's been, doing wrestling, like he's an okay wrestler. The other boy's a better wrestler, but the boy who was with us first is better at jujitsu. But it's almost like in his head, because the boy beats him in wrestling, like he beats him in jujitsu too, in ways that like I see him roll with other people, they wouldn't beat him. And so like it's kind of a weird thing, like where you just kind of get it in your head already that someone's going to beat you, and so they do. And I think that happens sometimes with your training partners. You're already in a place where you're like, there's nothing I can do to beat them. They're just better.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I agree with that. Yeah.
But
a lot of times lot of times, that they are overall better, but you do have to go up. You have to have that moment that you go after it, especially in that case where you're matching wrestling versus jujitsu. But I agree with you. I think you do get just kind of stuck in that place where, even overall your training partner might be better than you. And even Sifu's talked about that before. Even overall your training partner might be better than you. But on that day or in that moment, you might have an opportunity to get them with something. You might have the opportunity where you learned a technique just a little bit better than them. You caught on just a little bit faster in that particular moment. Not all as an athlete, but in that particular moment. And you have to be willing to challenge yourself that way. And sometimes it is hard with your teammates.
I think so too. And another thing I think is sometimes we can dismiss, like this is one of the reasons I think competition is really good as well. Like you might not win in your gym against your teammates, and you'd be like, well, they're just like 1 weight class bigger than me, or they're just this or they're just that. Like I can't beat them, so I'm not going to do any good in competition. And that's not always true. And I think there's a few reasons for that. Is one, size does matter. 2, familiarity matters. Like when somebody's familiar with your game, they kind of, especially if they have more experience than you, they know what you're going to do. But the other thing is, when you may just be a better competitor. and I really think that that's a thing. Like I find that competing in jujitsu, like I compete really good in jujitsu. I don't compete really well in MMA, but like when I train with other people for MMA in my gym, I can do really well. But I can't actually like I have a hard time just staying focused in it. And so I think that that you need to take that into consideration too, that like your experience in your gym may not necessarily be what your experience will be in competition. You may go to competition and come alive, and like you have to train hard too, but not to discredit yourself because, well, I get beat by everybody almost my size and skill level in my gym. Competition brings different things out in different people, don't you think?
Yeah, I agree with that.
But speaking of competition, we have the Artemis event that's coming up. I'm going to be leaving and going down tomorrow. I'm actually going to be cross training in Crossville with some 10th Planet brothers and sisters down there. Lance McConnell has 10th Planet as a part of, I think, another part of their gym. So I'm going to be going down there and getting some cross training in with them. And then hopefully, if everything works out well, be cross training over at Lucas Lepre, Bwjjc in Knoxville. But I'm kind of dreading that one.
Yeah, I heard about that one with the gi and a mask.
Yeah, you have to wear a gi and a mask in Knoxville because you have to be as covered up as possible. So number one, I don't do gi like ever, and we don't have to train with the mask. So I'm not really sure how that's going to work. I'm anticipating terrible, but I don't know. Gina does it.
I would say it'd be hard to hard roll with a mask.
Yeah, I would think so too.
Sorry, my cat is being terror.
Yeah, Scott just went into his office, so I expect my cat to start crying any minute now because she does that. But I'm kind of like anticipating a rough time of how it's going to go. Not because I don't think that the Lucas Lepre Knoxville is going to be pleasant or anything. And we may just be drilling some stuff. It's just if there's rolling, I might die. I wonder if Knoxville gives an exemption for asthma. You think so?
I have no idea. I suppose you could try to use it, but I'm more than willing to bet that if your asthma is okay enough that you can be a pro athlete, that you probably are going to have to find some middle ground if they have a mask requirement. They probably feel like you can manage it well. I'm just saying.
So I've been getting a lot of the notes in. I've been going through and typing out notes for the girls that are going to be competing at the Artemis show. Like it doesn't start until 6 p.m. I've been going through, and one thing is and one of the reasons I thought that you might be a good co-host for me today is a lot of these girls in the smaller weight bracket are girls that you have either competed against or anticipate competing against or know something about them because you maybe feel like you might meet up with them at some point. Let me pull them up. Get Linda on here shit talking. She's like, no, I don't do that.
I'm not a very good shit talker.
Damn it. All right, let's see here. So our 121 and under division, we have Sarah Davila, Gina Gooden, Caitlin Burns, Tabitha Watkins, Lacey Nelson, Nakia Jackson, Zena Camila, and Alejandra Bentacourt. The brackets came out 3 days ago. I like the matchups. What did you think?
I liked the matchups. I thought the first round all looked like good matchups. Of course, I don't know everybody in the bracket, but just the bracket overall, I think is a really exciting bracket. So I don't know that it would be difficult to make bad matchups in that bracket. I think there's several exciting girls in that bracket. So
Yeah, I think the out of the first matches, out of all the first matchups that I saw, the one the top two, I'm not super familiar with the top four girls, other than Gina. But now the bottom four girls, when I looked at those matchups, like those are matches that I feel like could be super fights with Lacey Nelson and Nakia Jackson, and then Zina Camila and Alejandra Bwjjc. Like I felt like those could have easily been like finals matches, and I'm excited to see them like out the gate. I don't really know, like I don't really know how it'll go between the Zina Camila and Alejandra. I've seen Alex train with us some, and she's very attack, attack, attack. I'm trying to think if I've got Zena's information. I don't. Let me see if I can find her style. But I'm pretty pumped for that one. I think that's a really good starter coming out the gate.
I'm not super familiar with Zena. I know I've trained with Alex a lot, and is strong. Alex is fast, and Alex does just string attacks together well. So overall, I think she's overall good at jujitsu. In general, there's not. Of course, she has good leg locks coming out of Georgetown.
Right.
But I don't think that's to say that she not strong in other areas. With she has some good Kimura attacks as well. She had and she maintains back control very well. So I think Alex is exciting to me.
I'm pretty excited.
Johnson.
I'm pretty excited for this one too because like Zena kind of describes her style as like a scrambly smashy, scramble till you can smash, and I think that very much sounds kind of like Alex's style as well.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be very interesting. We know Zena was training in Canada at TriStar, so she comes from a good background, and now she's at Shield Systems with Gina in Knoxville. But that's probably one of the first matches that I'm pretty excited to see.
That should be a good match.
Good deal. So the other one is Nakia Jackson and Lacey Nelson. I've never really seen Lacey kind of go other than I saw her against the Samantha Volkenhaus 2 weekends ago. She looked very technical. But then Nakia also kind of describes her style as like kind of technical as well. So I think this is going to be a really good match to see who, what kind of plays out here. They're evenly sized. They're both pretty technical. We know that Nakia is a strength and conditioning coach. So, it makes you wonder if like that's gonna have any factor in the match.
Nakia is the 10th planet girl, isn't she?
Mm-hmm.
I had thought I had heard a lot about her being strong and having some good wrestling.
Okay.
So I was excited to see her compete. I'd heard good things about her. I haven't actually gotten to see her compete, but I had heard good things about her, and I was thinking of there's several people that I could think could make it to the final, more than two. But I was thinking of her as being one of the ones that could make it to the finals.
Yeah, I agree with that. She's a blue belt. One thing that I like is that the purple belts are kind of spread out through the brackets a little bit. Kind of has the purple belts and the blue belts kind of going together, and I like that. And this is a purple and blue belt match. And so I kind of like that she kind of laid it out like that as well.
Yeah, because I was curious because this is ADCC rules, correct? So
It is.
After the first half of the match going, if there's no submissions, then they're going to start going by points. Is that correct?
Yeah. So in the
That makes me wonder about the wrestlers and stuff. And then an overtime, it would be takedowns. And that kind of makes me think, even though you've got some less experienced if people in there, if they're strong wrestlers and strong overall, that does tend to lead towards the points end of it.
I think about that too because, like in the first 5 minutes, it's submission only. There's no points, and that's something we kind of went over too. Is let's say you have somebody's back and the 5 minutes runs out. Just because you have their back and that 5 minutes runs out, you don't get points for having their back. You actually have to transition into a points position in order to get that. So I'll be interested. I'm interested to see who actually focuses on the rule set a little bit. Because there was one girl, I can't remember her name. I was just typing it out. She was saying that a lot of these girls' goals are to compete at Nogi Worlds and Pans, and one girl in particular said she wanted to give a run at the ADCC trials. So I feel like that was a good thing for her that she's getting this experience now, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But we'll see, huh?
Yeah, I just was, a lot from what I've seen, a lot of the girls in like when you see finishers and stuff like that in these smaller weight classes, sometimes a lot of times you don't see a lot of finishes, especially in just 5 minutes. These might be some long, grueling matches, and I wonder if some of the wrestlers and the top pressure players might have a little bit more of an advantage if you don't have somebody that's just real slick and tight with their submissions, because some of these girls are wiry. Like you might have some good submissions, but if you're not just really on point, these girls are going to scramble out of them. And that's what makes me wonder if this is going to lean more towards points.
If being in that smaller weight bracket yourself, like a purple belt, if you were going to be competing, what would your game plan be given the girls that are in the divisions?
Personally, for me, I like to be on top. I prefer to be on top. So I would be trying to maintain top pressure, top position, pressure. And if I have an opening for a submission, of course I would go for it, but I wouldn't be rushing into submissions. I would probably plan for the long haul more towards points. But that tends to be my style. I have a hard time personally when I go out to something that is sub only like finishers. People say, oh, well, there's a lot of people that just stall until they can get to overtime and finish. And it really turns out to be that you've got an 8-minute match and you might get some positions. And I've had some high level women on top of me, and you would think, oh, well, she should be able to submit her. Look at all the transitions and submissions she's gone to. But there is a lot of scramble and a lot of strength, and you're going to fight those, and that a lot of them do go to overtime based on the fact that you're not going for the submission. If the opening's there, you're always going for the submission. You don't want to go to overtime, but they just do. They naturally do. So you have to, I would think personally, I would prepare for the points battle and for the overtime.
Do you want to give your prediction for who you think takes this one?
Oh, I think a lot of people have thought that maybe it might be Alex or Gina, and that's kind of where I'm leaning. Alex is a tough scrambler. She's got, like I said, I think the last time I was rolling with her, she had good Kimura transition. She had good leg locks. I think Alex is going to go for a submission, and she's dangerous. And she scramble out of submissions. She's going to be hard to submit. Then I think Gina, she has great top pressure. I've trained with her a lot. I personally have a hard time with her top pressure, and I think when it comes down to it, even if you're going to power out of her submissions attempts and and you're gonna, she's gonna, even if she struggles with submission attempts, she's got that top pressure. Both Alex and Gina have good takedowns and judo in their background. So if it goes to overtime with the first takedown wins, that would be interesting. I don't really know on that one. But if it's just, this strictly going, like I said, going into points, when it starts to get deeper into a battle, Gina has, like I said, a great ability, I think, to score, not just get a position and maintain it and then not get any points, but I think she has an ability to move top pressure and score points on people. So I would worry about Alex's submission transitions, and I would worry about Gina and her solid top pressure game. And then the other, and that's because I've trained with those two a lot. And then, like I said, Jackson, I haven't gotten to train with her. I haven't gotten to compete against her, but I've heard great things about her strength and her wrestling, and that, she might be a dark horse in it. And with smattering, that kind of gets me curious about her. So, and Lacey competes a lot. I think you can't put aside somebody that competes as much as she does, and she's successful. She doesn't just go out there and compete. She's very, very successful. So, though you've got some purples and some blues. Heck, I was blue belt going into a competition with purple belts and did pretty good when I went to the EBI qualifiers. You can never discount blue belts, especially competition ready, experienced blue belts, not just a blue belt that trains once in a while. They're dangerous blue belts. So I think there's several people that I'm excited about.
I like how you pointed out who you feel like the dark horse in the division is. I can kind of agree with that too. I'm pretty excited about it. I agree with what you said about like Alex and Gina. Gina's also been working like on her leg locks as well, coming down and working with us on that. She got the opportunity to roll with Brittany Bays, who has some pretty fire entries into leg locks. So we know that all of these girls have been training really hard. So it's going to be very exciting to see how it kind of plays out. We go to the bigger bracket.
That's what I'm excited about too.
Go ahead. I'll show what that bracket is.
Go ahead with
now the other brackets. Not super familiar with a lot of these ladies. I'm getting familiar with them today, kind of topping out like their info, getting to know who they are. Some of these girls I didn't really realize were purple belts or where they trained. So I'm learning a lot about them today. So I'm finding that pretty exciting. We have Maddie Haynes versus Mary Rosenbach. Do you know anything about either one of these ladies?
No, I don't know much about the girls in the 125 and up bracket.
So Maddie Haynes is out of Gracie Baja, Knoxville, and she's a blue belt. She feels very strong about pressure. She's the one actually who wants to compete at the ADCC trials. So she's got big goals. So I'm pretty excited to see how she does. Let me find the other girl, Mary Rosenbach. Her information confused me a little. Like it's very vague. She says she's a blue belt, that she trains a little bit of everywhere, but with mostly PMAC, and I don't know who PMAC is. You know who that is?
Neither.
No, I don't. And she's been training about 2 years. So, she says I think this is what she's saying, is that she likes to train 6 days a week, twice a day, and compete a lot. So, be interested to see how she does. Like I said, like I wasn't sure kind of how to take her answering system, but like this is kind of the first matchup. And we know that Gracie Baja in Knoxville is legit. Samuel Braga is their instructor there, so that's a good kind of matchup to start it all off. So I'm pretty excited for that one. I think it'll be a good one to kick it off. Next is Danielle Wynn and Samantha Valkenhaus. I don't know if you know anything about either one of these ladies.
No.
All right. So Danielle Wynn, She's been training at SBG in Athens, but she's now on Team Lima since it's probably something to do with the quarantine. But she says she's an aggressive top player, and I'm pretty excited to see kind of how she does. She looks like she's an MMA fighter as well, and we know that MMA fighters, and this is probably one of the first matchups like in that division. This is the one that I'm excited to see. Danielle Wynn looks very strong. She's an MMA fighter. It's she's going against Samantha Volkenhaus, who I think is, for me, it's kind of the pick on who I think may take it. Samantha is the purple belt, and she's very technical. She's actually though small for the division. I think she's about 130, 135ish, so she's the smaller. So I think it'll be another one where we get to see if size, strength, and aggressiveness can overcome technique and patience. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. Technique is great when it's submission only, but size, strength, and aggressiveness might help out a lot when it's points.
Yeah.
So we'll see on that one.
That's one that I'm pretty pumped for to get them kicked off. Kind of seeing if Danielle kind of gets past Samantha, like then it's really kind of going to be a toss up, I think. The next one we have is
tough with MMA fighters too. She's going for submissions at the beginning, and she might get into some great transitions, but when you deal with those strong MMA fighters that are just gonna tough out anything,
who would almost rather die than tap
then it
out.
goes to points. And yeah,
you wouldn't know anything about that. Like, all right. After that, we have Tori Dean versus Danielle. We know Danielle. We've trained with her. She's from Georgetown. She's she's a lot, like she has a lot of competition experience. She does a lot of super fights when her gym was doing the UGIs. So Danielle is very competition ready. But the Tori Dean, I'm pretty interested. She says she trains out of Parabellum Martial Arts. She's coming all the way from Missouri, but now she only has 2 years experience. But here's something I thought was interesting about her. She spent 9 years in the military, and she was a drill sergeant. So I think what she might lack in some experience on the mat, she's going to make up for, if I had to guess, with grit.
Yeah, a lot of military people military doesn't necessarily, depends on if you are actually getting to get into some of the martial arts instruction end, but most of the time, like personally, when I was in the Marine Corps, I didn't actually get to experience much martial arts at all. They do a course with you and you get a little belt, and once you get into the gym, you realize that you didn't actually learn anything. But being in the military, you do have to work out a lot, and you do build a toughness. So, and you build a work ethic into your training. So sometimes 2 years of her training, the way she's training might be different than 2 years of somebody else training. She might have a good solid work ethic and really be putting in a lot of work in that 2 years, a lot more work than somebody else might. So you never know.
For sure. Lastly, we have Lauren Rodriguez, and she's going to be taking on Andrea. And Andrea, I think, is kind of at the heavier side of the bracket. She's one of the bigger girls in the 145. She's probably going to make it just into that 145. Lauren, I think, and Andrea will be a good matchup because it'll be kind of that thing of like, I think it'll be a good size and strength and versus more aggressiveness. If I look at Lauren's information, she says she's very much a smash and pass. Andrea is coming from the Klingermans up in Indiana. And I think that if I look at her, if I can find it now, if we look at what, she has to kind of say about herself as well, she likes to kind of, be very technical in what it is that she's doing. So I think that's going to be a good kind of ender match for that bracket, if that makes
It
sense.
sounds like Danny matched up every time, like smash and pass with technical, smash and pass with technical. Let's see how these play out.
I mean, it's a good way to do it, I think. Because
Yeah,
sometimes when you're trying to smash,
it makes all the matches interesting.
yeah, patience versus the person trying to smash through. Uh, one of the cool things about ADCC rule set is for the smash and pass person. I think that first 5 minutes does give them a lot of room to make the mistakes they're going to make,
Yeah,
and to use that aggressiveness and really go after it and make the mistakes you're going to make. And then after you're tired, you have time to really slow down and focus on points. So I do think that the ADCC rule set kind of favors that style a little bit. In that, it kind of gives you time to kind of switch gears once you get tired. But like for the people who like to kind of take their time, 10 minutes is a long time to kind of take it slow.
yeah.
So we'll kind of see. I think that we'll see. I think what we'll see a lot of is girls pushing the pace, and then if it gets out of the first 5 minutes, we'll see a big slowdown.
That'll be interesting.
But other than that, I think it's going to be pretty exciting. I'm headed down tomorrow. Like I said, we're going to go down and train a little bit. You, I think, have plans to train this weekend yourself, don't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to that wrestling seminar up at Queen City. Let me see the name of it. Lauren LeVay.
Tell us a little bit about what that is.
I had just seen that she's I think I saw it was 134 pound around Olympic
Okay.
trials wrestler, and she was doing a seminar, and I had thought, I'd like to work on I always want to work on my wrestling, and didn't have much going on since unfortunately I can't compete in that competition, which is what I'd really want to do. So I wanted to take the opportunity to um, learn some more smash and pass to see if I can improve my wrestling. Even if it's traditional wrestling, I feel like you can take concepts of wrestling and hopefully it'll help me with my MMA. The last time I went to a wrestling seminar was the Randy Miller seminar, which was a little more wrestling for Bwjjc, but that was probably my favorite seminar I've ever been to. So, I wanted to get out of my comfort zone. I thought, everybody's out of town this weekend and I didn't have much going on. And I don't usually get out of my comfort zone a lot and go to a lot of seminars. And I thought, you know what? I want to learn some more wrestling. I'm just going to go to it. And Emily's going to come with me. So we're excited about it. My husband, Chris, is going to come with me. So we're going to go up
Is he going to train?
What's that?
Is he going to train too?
Yeah.
Nice, nice.
So we should have a good time. And I think whatever she ends up teaching, it's good. I'll figure out some way that it's going to help my MMA. So I'm excited about that.
Take notes.
Yeah.
Take notes and bring it back.
As you
See you,
said,
Emily.
what's that?
Go ahead.
Oh, I said, as you said, I'll have to take notes and teach Chris how to pin techniques.
Speaking of Emily, I told her because I'm preparing. I want to go to this ego event in Indianapolis, and I could do 151 and over or 151 and under. I'm right on that line where I can go either way. Like I'm not that heavy, but there's only one girl registered in my experience division, and she's above the 151. So I went ahead and registered there. So I told Emily, I was like, okay, I need you to come in this week because Emily's like, she's like a 20 stripe blue belt.
Poor Emily.
She'd actually been she was right on that, like, she's very technical. She was right on that line of getting a purple belt, but she had to take some time off for school and stuff for about a year, and she's getting back into it now, but she's not really dropped in skill a lot, which is exciting because I think that she'll, be able to kind of take that step that she was so close to when she had to kind of drop off some. But knowing that she was kind of bigger, I think she's like in that division. She has the experience. I was like, you're kind of the picture of the girls I'm competing against right now. So come in on Thursday if you don't mind, and let's actually go. And so today I'm having to rest and recover for wrestling tonight because I'm killed from it.
Good.
But
I'm excited.
yeah.
I'm excited to have Emily back because I feel like she has come back. She's feeling a little better too, it seems like, physically, and she can go out there and give you some big girl
Toss me around
terror.
a little.
Yeah.
I was like, I want you to really work for the overhook because, if you get it, like, that's not a game I want to be stuck in. So, like, if you can get it, and when she got it, I go, oh no! Just dove in to take her down, and we almost knocked ourselves out on the ring. They canceled it. I just registered and paid for it today. Well, fuck. I literally just dropped almost $200 on registering me and my family for it this morning.
Why they canceled it yesterday? She said.
Yeah, how'd
they let you register?
Yeah, I know. How the fuck did I register then? Oh, I've been training my ass off. I'm trying to get every match I can get right now. I've been a brown belt since 2017. Maybe no, 2018. So I feel like I need to be competing as much as possible, especially if we get shut down again this winter. Yeah, I'm talking about the one in Indianapolis. That's the one. I went and literally just paid for it this morning. I paid for myself, I paid for Chris, and I paid for Natalie. Well, fuck. Sorry for all the F-bombs, but now you guys know how I really feel. I tend to cuss a lot. Sorry. It's next thing you know, I'll be singing that WAP song.
Oh no.
Oh crap. That blows. I follow the Indiana Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Academy on Facebook and on Instagram. I'm really shocked that, way to ruin my day, Lacey. Let me see if I can find it.
At least a lot of times you can cancel. You have that 24-hour window to cancel, so you should be able to get your money back either way.
Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it on AJ Klingerman's post. Let me see. Let me look up the ego. Yeah, it says canceled. Well, motherfucker. Yeah, it does say canceled.
For yourself, you don't believe her.
Fuck it, Lacey. If you guys have people competing, just come down and let's train that day.
It seems like that's it's kind of stinks that they give you such short notice, but it seems like that's what's been going on with everything, no matter what type of competition you're trying to do.
For me, competition is the only thing that keeps me from getting really, really fucking fat. I gained the quarantine 15, and like I compete about 135, 125 if we're talking MMA, but 135 if we're talking jiu-jitsu. 135 to 140 in jiu-jitsu. So I usually walk around about 10 pounds heavier than the 140 weight class. So I'm at my solid walking weight for like if I have like a long-term goal. So like I've been doing really good. Only thing is I've been my garden's been giving me like 3 tomatoes and like jalapeno peppers and bell peppers every day. So I've been making salsa like crazy.
I know
But
you've been giving me tomatoes.
salsa's not bad for you though. I mean, the only real problem with the salsa is the corn chips I eat with it. So find an alternative other than just eating it by the spoon, and it's not too bad. But Lacey
I've
said they're
gotten
thinking that
but
Lacey
go
says
ahead.
that Lacey said they're talking about having their own little interstate event at one of the gyms for fun. Like, let's do it. AJ, I think he has the space. Like, let's do it. We got some people that were wanting to compete that were registered, and you guys have some people. I know some other people. Like, fucking do it. Put it together. Our bike ride is the next day, though.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
So, in case you guys didn't know, Linda and I have been friends before the Facebook incident for about 5 years now.
Facebook only says like 3 though.
Before the incident. So 2 years ago, I decided to throw her a little birthday party because she likes to run and everything. So we do a bike ride, and I said we got to dress up. So I have like these old school prom dresses. Like we just dress up in whatever we want to dress up in, ridiculous, and ride our bike around Berea because Berea is kind of cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs too. So we went to paint that year. We haven't done it again because there's been too many of us after that. But last year we did it again, and we had 3 times the number of people that actually showed up for the bike ride. And then we have, of course, a pool party at my house. So we're getting ready to do that again on the 23rd. Which we might have to switch it to the 22nd if we're not going to have shit to do. That way we can all go to work on Monday.
I'll tell you,
but
I was thinking the 23rd was going to be rough.
yeah, so we're gonna do. But this year's theme is superheroes. So, and I think it's kind of Natalie's fault because last year we included Natalie in on the birthday celebration. It's kind of for Linda's birthday, but it's becoming a tradition. This is our 3rd annual ride. So Natalie's like dying to be Harley Quinn. No matter how much I tell her, Harley Quinn is not a freaking role model to be like. But she wanted to be Harley Quinn, so I'm like, well, I'll be Wonder Woman. And then I think you were like, well, I'm the cheetah already. So this year's theme is
I'll bring the cheetah.
turning into superhero theme, and I think we're going to have twice the amount of people we had last year again this year. And
apparently Sonia has an epic She-Ra outfit.
There you go.
And we told Emily she needs to be at a candy for you.
Yeah, our DC it would be 4 of us now. So what's that called? There's duo, trio, and
quadruple-o.
That sounded very educated. Our quadrant, but we'll have.
I don't
Wonder
think that's
Woman.
any better.
Yeah, Wonder Woman, and then Emily's going to be Wonder Woman's sidekick at a candy, which she is in the movies. And then the cheetah is her arch nemesis, which is you. And then Harley Quinn, as of late, is kind of part of the DC squad of girls. So that's what Natalie's going to be. And I actually have the blue and the hot pink hair dye for the ends of her hair. And for her birthday, her granny ordered her the hot pants costume. So we're excited. But yeah, we'll just I mean, shit, even if it's just a good cross training day, we could go up to Louisville and cross train with them and have a good day of it. That bums me out, man. You're not supposed to run the microwave when I'm doing my podcast. My microwave like shuts my internet down. But now I'm sidetracked and bummed out.
That's why you can't eat on the podcast?
Yeah, my microwave is too powerful. Like, matter of fact, if we run our microwave and we have anything else plugged into the the socket, the breaker will flip off. Like it's like we got it when we got married. I think Emily's mom actually got it for us for our present, and it's so powerful that we can't, like, if we have something streaming and the microwave turns on, it like disrupts the whole stream. But anyways, we'll figure it out. Man, that bums me out. I've been like so pumped about this. We know Bwjjc is coming up in Bowling Green, though. I know that Tim Northland is trying to get me a super fight down there. Brown belt female, 145, 150-ish, whatever. I don't care. 300 pounds, whatever. And then I think after that, Naga and Grappling Industries is coming to Knoxville in October, unless we just don't know what's going to happen month to month, unless something happens there. So we'll see. We're about done, guys. So if anybody wants to click the link that's in the, I'll put it in the comments here. If anybody wants to click the link and give us their opinions on the Artemis event or anything else, we'll give you 2 minutes to click on and come talk to us. And then after that, if we don't get anybody who wants to chit chat with us, we'll let y'all go. Had a nice new co-host today with Linda. Did you enjoy it with your captured internet?
I did. I only get internet in the bedroom, but at least I'm getting internet now.
I fully expected you to glitch off and on like a lot, but it's actually been pretty smooth. So
yeah, I wasn't sure. We've not had too bad the internet. Chris went and got a booster, and that hasn't helped a whole lot as far as the rest of the house. But the hotspot and the booster in the bedroom specifically, we can get enough internet to do something like this. So I've been kind of working from home with it, so it's been nice. I definitely won't complain about working from home.
Yeah. I don't think we're gonna have anybody join us, so I guess we'll just kind of end on that note. Have fun at your event this weekend on Sunday. I'll see you on Monday. Well, I'll see you tonight, obviously.
Yeah.
But just I want to wish everybody good luck in the Artemis event this weekend. I'm really excited. There's a lot of talent. This is really stacked. We got girls coming from all over. Good luck, Maddie Hames, Mary Rosenbach, Daniel Wynn, Samantha Balkenhouse, Tori Dean, Daniel Mills, Lauren Rodriguez, and Andrea. I'm not going to attempt to butcher your last name. Here, I'll just show it. Yeah, that one. But anyways, good luck, girls, in the 121 to 145 division. I'll be doing commentary, so if there's anything that you want to make sure that I mention, just feel free to
like that poor girl's last name.
Yeah. Well, I've got my notes. I'm going to print them out, and then I'm going to take them down there with me with the pen and fill in anything and like spell things phonetically so I don't fuck it up, like the chicken viola thing. Like, if you guys don't know, like, I had never seen in my 30-something years of life voila spelled out. So like I was walking through Walmart and I saw this. We were looking for meals and said, "Oh, chicken viola. We could try that." And Scott's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I'm like, "Chicken viola." He's like, "That's chicken voila." So I had never seen voila spelled out, and it was very surprising to me. So I'm gonna make sure I don't have a mess up like that. Good luck to Sarah Davila, Gina Gooden, Caitlin Burns, Tabitha Watkins, Lacey Nelson, Nakia Jackson, Zena Camila, and Alejandra Bentecourt. I know you guys all do well. This, like I said, I hate to say it, but like this bracket is so friggin' stacked with, like, other than like yourself, Linda, being able to be in there because of an injury. Some of the top girls in this area. This is like fight to win worthy, some of these matchups. So I'm very excited. I want to wish all you ladies good luck. Linda, you want to say anything before we go? Well, she's circling the drain, apparently. Looks like I ended right in time. There she is. Hey. All right, Linda, anything you want to say before we go?
No, I'm just You've cursed me with the internet connection thing. I'm excited for the bracket, and I'm also just excited. And it's in general, if I didn't some people that I don't necessarily think of as favorites, I think that's what my favorite part of this is there's so much talent that just because there's you have the people that you know that you've trained with that you think, oh, they're so good, and I think they're one of the favorites. I think that all of these girls are extremely talented, and I'm excited to see um, any of them win, because really at the end of the day, I do think any of these girls could win either bracket, and that's what I'm most excited about for this.
100%, 100%. I'm very excited. It's going to be some really good jiu-jitsu. So I'm very excited. Like, one of the main reasons I'm wanting to commentate when she asked me if I would is I get to watch these matches live. So I'm pretty pumped about that. Again, if you have anything you want to add to your bio, just be sure to let me know. And Linda, tell them where they can find you on social media.
I'm at Linda Mahalik on Facebook and at F109_10P on Instagram and Twitter.
All right, guys. Gina E10P, we're out. Have a good one.